So I've ran into a problem. I was filling the cooling system up on this car, this 99 Camaro with a 3.8, and I realized that this heater hose has got a small slit in it, and coolant was leaking out of it. But what I also realized is that somebody has already used electric tape and taped up the other end of that particular hose because it's got a leak there too. So, what do you do about this end? It's got a funky fitting on it. It's got an O-ring that goes on it. And then this attachment here actually is almost, has to be press fit on the rubber hose. Well, look at this aluminum housing. There's no threads in it. So there has to be a kit or some way to fix it, or replace the heater hoses altogether, which I think heater hoses are I think I priced them anywhere between $120 and $160 for this car, for factory heater hoses, over one stupid cut, real close to the fitting, and you can't fix it. Well, there is a kit out there. It's on eBay. It's from Nook and Tranny. And in that kit includes this particular fitting, what I needed. The way the heater hose is made, the end slips into the aluminum housing and it has an O-ring on it. And then the hose is made onto that special fitting. Well, this allows you to cut the hose down a little shorter and then slip it over this end, put a regular hose clamp on it, and now you have your special fitting. Now, when I seen it on eBay at first, I thought this was just a cheap piece of metal, but now that I'm holding it in my hand, it's actually pretty heavy, maybe pretty well made. I thought it was kind of high priced at first, but the more I think about it, somebody had spent a lot of time actually making this. So I spent $41 on this kit. Looks like it comes with two of those special fittings. A coupler to go from one side's heater hose to the other, I think 3/4 to 5/8. And it looks like 4 hose clamps, 2 screws, or 2 little bolts and washers, and then a piece of 5/8 hose. First of all, I'm going to try to cut the end of this hose right past this crimp fitting because it's leaking here. I can't fix that, so I'm going to go back here and cut it off. Now that mess is out of the way. Don't forget to put your hose clamps on, and make sure your hose clamps are put on in such a way that they don't drop your hose clamp. As I was saying, make sure you put your hose clamp on in such a way that it doesn't rub against the other hose and cause it to leak. That 5/8 to 3/4 coupler, the 5/8 would actually be on the top side. The 3/4 coupler would be on the bottom for the original 3/4 inch hose. I'm going to go ahead and put this fitting on first. Just going to stick it in the hole. After you've lubed up the O-ring, it should go right in. You have 2 different holes to fix. Put it in like so, and then the bolt hole is already there and has threads in it. So it holds the fitting in and keeps it from coming out. Get your little, I think it's a 6 by, no, I wanted to say 6 by 100, it may be, in the flat washer. And there is actually a threaded ball that's cast into that aluminum housing. That already has threads in it. Here I'm using a 8mm ratchet wrench. Screw the bolt in. Try to make sure your line's not kinked. I just use a 5/16 socket and 1/4 inch ratchet. Tighten up all my hose clamps. And get a better view of what I actually done here. There's the special fitting from Nook and Tranny. 5/8 hose. And I kind of made this look kind of rough. You can see the original hose down at the bottom. And there's the coupler. The heater hose is on it. And it was rubbing up against this other hose. The hose clamp was, so I kind of zip tied it together to keep it from rubbing against each other. But the clamps are tight. It looks really good. I didn't really like the piece from Nook and Tranny when I first got it, or first seen it on eBay, but after I got it in my hands I felt way better about it. I don't know who's making them, but they did a pretty good job. Everything fit perfect. It took more time to set up the camera than it did to put this whole thing together. So I appreciate the work that they've done. The other fitting, it's not leaking. I'm not going to fix it. If you've liked what I've done here, shoot, give me a subscribe or a like or a comment. Tell me what you really think of it.